Well, happy Christmas Eve day, you all. Just one more day till Christmas, and it's just come upon us so fast. So today I'm making Butterscotch Delight, and I'll be taking this tomorrow for our lunch with James and Ashley, and we'll make a fruit salad later on. So let's get started on this Butterscotch Delight. It's what James requested because their whole family loves butterscotch anything. So I thought I'd just make this Butterscotch Delight because it will feed a lot of people. Now you usually bake it in a 9 by 13 pan. Well, all my pans are packed up from the kitchen upstairs, so I went out to the store to get a disposable pan. Well, all they had was the lasagna size pan. Everybody's using disposable pans here at the holidays, evidently, but this will work. And I have lightly sprayed the bottom with some Baker's Joy. Sorry about the cough. So we're going to make the crust to start with, and what we need is 1.5 cups of melted butter, and I've already melted the butter and I have it in this mixing bowl. And we put an equal amount of flour, and I'm using all-purpose flour. So we need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So let's put the flour in with this melted butter. There's 1/2 cup. I just washed my hands and they're a little bit moist, so I don't want to touch the flour with my hands. I'll get a knife out and just kind of rake that off. There's 1 cup. And another half makes 1.5 cups of flour. Now we're just going to mix this up a little bit, not much, and then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. Now, since it just called for 1/2 cup, I just used my little hand chopper. I could have them chopped up with this quicker than I could get my little electric chopper out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 1/2 cup of pecans in. And now we're going to stir all this up. Now, I heated up the butter just a little too long, so it's really runny. I'm going to let it sit here for just a few minutes, let that butter solidify a little bit more, and then we will press it down in the bottom of this pan. So let this cool a little bit and we'll be back. Y'all, I was watching something on TV and got so interested in it and laughing so hard that I almost forgot to turn my camera on to show you how I'm spreading this crust in. But it's soft now, and I'm just using the back of the spoon. I just took big scoops and put in here, and I just spread it out with the back of the spoon. I don't know if y'all ever watched John Ward on the Appalachian channel on YouTube. Oh my goodness, he's one of my favorite YouTubers that I watch, and he's got some really good content about the Appalachian area. Well, John is a bachelor, and he and his son work together videoing. They go around different places in Appalachia, and it's really interesting. But I think it was last year he built a barn dominium to live in, and he's got this really nice kitchen in there, but he doesn't know how to cook. Neither he or his son cook. So it's a brilliant idea that he invites other women to come in and let them cook a whole meal, and they teach them how to fix it. And so they're learning how to cook and at the same time providing great YouTube content. So they're making a Christmas dinner in this video I was watching. And John got a new Instant Pot. So the lady that he has cooking, she's brought 2 turkey breasts and a ham. And she put 2 turkey breasts in her Instant Pot. So John drags his new Instant Pot out, and he's going to put the ham in it. He can't even get it open. he's pulling and tugging and twisting and turning and unplugging and plugging, and his son gets out from behind the camera and comes over and he tries, and they're shaking it. Oh, it's so funny. And then somehow the lid came off. But you know how Instant Pot comes with two sealing rings. One's a white one and one's a red one. Well, the white one was inside the lid, and they had stretched out that red one and put around the diameter of the pot. And I guess that's what got it stuck. But it's so funny. It's just so funny watching them. John Ward, I just love your YouTube channel. Thank you for the great content. And I needed that laugh this morning. So anyway, I have this all spread out now. And you can see it covered the whole pan. And I'm over there laughing at them. I was supposed to preheat my oven to 350 degrees, and I've not even done that yet. So I'll get the oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to bake this for, I think it's 15 minutes. Bake it for 20 minutes or until golden brown, and after baking, place in the freezer for 15 minutes. Well, my freezer is packed full. That's not going to happen, so I'll just put it in the refrigerator and let it sit up good for a little while before we put the next layer on there. But let me get my oven preheated and get this into baking, and I'll be back.
This is a installing the seal ring. That ring goes on the inside of this here. Apparently, look. That's why we were having probably
Now, they had the white ring already in the lid. Now they're going to put the red one in too.
I don't know.
Please help them, somebody.
John, you know you can't let kids loose in the kitchen.
Okay, so it's very important.
Oh, they're so funny.
Correctly.
So this seal looks just like this seal.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe that's an extra seal. Extra seal ring. It's extra. In case that one goes.
All right, it's time to take it out of the oven. Let me turn it off before I forget to do that. Okay, you can see that it's just lightly browned, and that's what you want. You don't want it a dark brown, just a lightly brown. Now this is really hot, so I'm going to set it here on the stove and let it cool for a little while, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to cool even more before I spread the cream cheese mixture on top of it. You really want it to be hard so you can spread it without it pulling the crust up. So if I can rearrange things in my freezer to get this in, I might try that, but it's pretty full. I doubt that that's going to happen, but let's let this cool and I'll be back. Well, believe it or not, but I was able to make room in my freezer. I took out my gel packs for when I have headaches, put it in the back of my head or across my forehead. So I've set them over aside and rearranged a little bit to make a level spot, and it went right in. So it just has to freeze for 15 minutes. So in the meantime, we're going to make the cream cheese layer and the pudding layer to put on it. So let me set these over here to the side. So for the cream cheese layer, we need 1 block of softened cream cheese. I need to move my trash can over closer. And we need 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. And one day last week, my brother Teddy wanted me to make butterscotch pies for his birthday. So his daughter Stephanie wanted to come and help me make them so she could learn to make them. And she said when she made them, it didn't taste like butterscotch. So it was when she got off work and she came by and we started making the pies. And we'd get out my teaspoon or tablespoon and look at it and it's just kind of faded and it's really small markings. I said, does that say a teaspoon? And she's looking at it and squinting at it. We finally figured it out. But when she came to pick up the refrigerator the other day, she brought me a set of measuring cups, and it's large letters for old people. And a set of teaspoons, measuring spoons too. So I just thank her. We had a good laugh about that. And so I'm going to use these measuring cups. We need 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. Thought I saw something flying around, but I don't guess so. I hate flies and gnats and stuff flying around. I want to get them really quick. I get the fly swatter out after them, and Joe said, man, why'd you hit it so hard? And I said, I mean business. I mean to get them out of here so they don't come back. Anyway, a cup of confectioner's sugar, 8-ounce package of cream cheese. We're going to mix this together with my hand mixer and then fold in a cup of Cool Whip. So let me go over here. I've got the hand mixer behind me. So let me mix this up and I'll be back. Alright, so I have the cream cheese and confectioner's sugar and Cool Whip all mixed up in this bowl. Now I'm going to fix the pudding, and you use 2 3-ounce boxes. Is it 3 ounce or 3.5? 3.4 ounces it says. It used to be 3.5. They keep cutting down on the quantity, but these 2 boxes of the butterscotch pudding. You want the instant pudding, not the kind you cook. Okay, and 3 cups of cold milk. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Use my new teaspoon Stephanie got me. The big lettering on it. Yep, I can see that real good. That's 1 teaspoon. And we're going to mix this up until it's thickened. Okay, so I got this out of the freezer, and I'm starting to spread the cream cheese mixture over top, and it makes it so much easier when that crust is frozen good and hard, so it doesn't lift up as you're trying to spread this. And I've got the pudding mixed up too, ready to go on top of this. Well, I had to turn the camera off because I felt a sneeze coming on, so excuse me for that. But I got all the cream cheese mixture on here now, so we have to return this back to the freezer for another 15 minutes before we put the pudding mixture on, okay? I'll be back. Okay, I just took this out of the freezer. It's been in there for another 15 minutes. I have the butterscotch pudding prepared, so we're going to spread that all over the top of the cream cheese. That's my timer beeping at me, telling me it was time to take this out of the freezer. Let me turn that off. Quite a bit in there. I don't have the utensils or the baking or the cooking ware down here like I do upstairs. So I just use what I've got. This is a really small spatula, but it will work to spread this around. This pan worked perfectly. It just didn't come with the domed lid on it, so I'll just cover it up carefully when I take it over to James and Ashley's. Alright, now this goes back in the freezer again for another 15 minutes. Okay, I just took it out of the freezer again. It's been another 15 minutes in there. So now all I'm going to do is layer the top with Cool Whip. And it will be done. So the next thing that I'm going to make is a fruit salad. And I've never made it before, but it looked very interesting. Another YouTuber that I watch is Amy's Louisiana Kitchen. And she called it Louisiana fruit salad. So I'm going to try that and see what it's like and take it to the neighbors when I go over the evening of Christmas Day. So let me finish getting the Cool Whip on top here. And there we have it. And I just dab it like this to make little peaks on top, kind of like meringue look, meringue pie. So I will cover this with something loosely and put it in the fridge, and it'll be ready for tomorrow. Now the Cool Whip bowls, I miss my little dog Trooper. That's every time I make something with Cool Whip, I can't help but think of him. He loved for me to set the bowl down for him to lick the rest of the Cool Whip out. He's been gone for 2 years and I miss him. But I'll be back later and we'll put that fruit salad together. Okay, I'm back. It's probably about 6 o'clock. It's 20 after 6. So let's get this fruit salad made. And I'm sorry about the lighting in here. It looks like I'm dark because the chandelier sits kind of low. So maybe if I sit down it would be better. But anyway, let's get started on Amy's Louisiana Kitchen, Louisiana fruit salad. So you start with a 20-ounce can of chunk pineapple and you drain that. And I put it in this mesh colander here. You want to save the juice. And you use a 15-ounce can of mandarin oranges and you drain those. And let's see. And 20 ounces of peach pie filling, which I have right here. But I need a big bowl. Thought I had one. Let me get a big bowl. Okay, I got a big bowl, so I'm going to put the fruit in this big bowl. You set the colander over here at the sink. And then I'm going to add this can of peach pie filling. And we're going to gently stir that up. So it says combine the pineapple, oranges, strawberries, and pie filling. So it calls for 3 cups of frozen sliced strawberries. So I had this in the freezer that came out of my strawberry patch. And I just gently thawed them a little bit. They're already sliced up. Okay, boy, they smell good. So let's mix all this in together. It's going to be a pretty colorful salad. And it comes together so quick. You don't have to peel the fruit by using the canned fruit. Okay. So it says combine the pineapple, oranges, strawberries, and pie filling and sprinkle Jell-O and stir until fully coated. So you use 1 small box of peach Jell-O and you just sprinkle it over here. Now she said this won't cause it to completely congeal, but it will just add a lot of flavor to the salad. I'm just going to mix that together. And we are going to cover this, I think. Okay. Sprinkle Jell-O and stir until fully coated, and then cover and refrigerate overnight or several hours to thaw. Then we're going to put the bananas. We're going to slice 3 bananas and put them in this juice and cover that and refrigerate them too. So they'll be ready to add tomorrow when we're ready to take this over to the neighbors. And the juice helps keep the bananas from turning brown. So for right now, this is all we do. And I'll get the bananas sliced up. I'll cover this and put it in the fridge. And here's the bananas. I hope these bananas are good. Lately I've been buying bananas and I'll peel them. They look good, but then there's bad spots in them. So I'm just going to slice these and plop them in the juice. You hear them plopping? Y'all, I know the flu is going around really bad, and the hospitals here have gone back to mask. The nurses wearing masks and visitors wearing masks and limiting your visits. And Brandon, Joe's oldest son that lives in Nashville, he was going to come home for Christmas. But yesterday he texted and said that he got up sick and with 100-degree temperature. So sounds like he may have the flu. He's not going to get to come home. And Teddy came earlier this morning and got the German chocolate cake that I made so they could have it for their Christmas dinner tomorrow. And while he was here, we called our aunt and uncle who lives in Georgia and to wish them a Merry Christmas. Well, they're both sick with the flu. And my uncle didn't sound good at all, so keep them in your prayers, Faye and Ed. So I hope all of you all are well and don't get sick. But be careful while you're out. Wash your hands good and don't touch your face. And limit the time that you're around people in close proximity. So for now, that's all that we're going to do. We're going to cover both of these and refrigerate them. And tomorrow, when I put it together before I go over to my neighbors, I'll put it in a pretty bowl. And I'll drain these bananas and add that to it. Put it in a pretty bowl and toast some coconut and pecans and sprinkle on top. And that's all there is to it. So y'all be blessed, and I'll show you that on tomorrow's video. So be blessed and just celebrate what Christmas is really about. God sending his only son to save us from our sins and to give us a home in heaven for all eternity. So trust him today if you haven't already, and keep walking in the light. I love you.